Hey there, still just on the heels of getting the Kershaw, using it for a tiny little bit. Just thought I'd drop a bit of a comparison video between this and the Delica. Now the Delica's had over a year of use on it now. Kershaw obviously only a day or so's worth. But this is more of a practical comparison for just sizing and things like that. As you can see on the table here, they're actually very similar sized knives. And it's actually a really sound comparison because they're two very much staple, pure, everyday carry knives. As in knives that probably aren't worth using in a tactical role or a hard use role. Just your basic pocket knife for cutting stuff that are both made with high production values. Sold for about the same price. In Australia you'll get a Delica for about 110, you'll get a Kershaw for about between 90 and 100. So let's just talk from top to tail about the knives and what you're getting for your cash. So you've got your Kershaw here, you've got your Spyderco here obviously. Kershaw, you're getting a spear point blade in 14C28 Sandvik. I was wrong in my unboxing video. 14C28 is an upgraded version of the pretty standard Sandvik stainless steel. And in the Delica you're getting VG10. As far as I can tell, they're probably very similar performance and corrosion wise, so probably not a great deal of difference between the materials there. You're getting a hollow grind on the Kershaw and you're getting a full flat grind on the Delica. What you're getting more of on the Kershaw is more blade. The blade to handle ratios on these are rather better on the Kershaw than they are on the Delica. For two knives that are pretty much the same length, let's use the rebar here as a measuring tool. So you have two knives that are, so if I put them both in line there, Kershaw might be a couple of millimeters longer. So both of these knives fully opened are about 18 centimeters. Kershaw might be 18.2 centimeters, something like that. On the Spyderco you're getting from the start of the blade, you're getting let's talk in inches because people get inches a bit better with blade. You're getting a 3-inch blade with probably about a about 2 3/4 inch cutting edge. Whereas on the Kershaw, you're getting from the, I guess we'll go from the flipper. Oh no, so we'll go from the presented bit of metal from where the handle ends. You're getting a 3.5-inch blade. Just under 3.5 perhaps, with a cutting edge of pretty much that. So a lot more cutting edge, respectively speaking, than you are in the Delica. So if that's important to you and you want to get that little bit of extra edge, then this may well be the clincher for you there. Pocket clips, you're getting 4-way reversible pocket clips, and both of these are good clips. The Delica's clips started to loosen up a little bit. So what I'll need to do is I'll need to take this off and I'll need to put it in a vise and give it a bit of a bend the other way. And you can do that a few times in the life of a clip before the clips, it starts to develop a weak point and then you have to get rid of it. But Delica clips are very sourceable and replaceable, and you can actually upgrade them to the wire clip. There's some aftermarket ones that are made. The Kershaw has the Strider clip. It's borrowed from Zero Tolerance, which was borrowed from Strider knives. This is a very good clip so far. It really grabs the pocket. It's got enough of a upswept part there to grab onto most thick pocket seams, so quite happy with that as well. Handle material, FRN and G10, so both sort of high quality plastics. The FRN on the Spyderco is very grippy because of its indentations that are cut into it. The G10 is sort of more of a fabric-y material plastic, feels like a canvas kind of material, slightly rough. Not as rough as some cold steel G10, but rougher than some other G10 you find. So about mid-traction G10. Other grip features with the handle, Spyderco, because of this spider hole opening system, has the thumb ramp which locks your hand in this way. The Kershaw has nothing like that, but locking your hand in is the finger choil created by the flipper. So I guess that brings me to opening mechanism. So a spider hole, one hand opening, nice solid click into place, very solid lockup. Not particularly a high speed knife, but a very sturdy knife and a very simple knife that anyone will be able to use. Put a flipper in the hands of someone who's never held a pocket knife or held very few, they won't know what to do. They'll try the stud first. Thumb stud is average on the Skyline. I've already sort of decided that it's just not the preferred way of opening it, just a little bit awkward. But the flipper, bit of a wrist flick, and it comes out at fairly high speed. So in terms of accessibility, I'd give it to the Kershaw, but is being a classic opening mechanism, is that worth a few points as well? Probably is. Much more user-friendly, I would suggest, for the initial user anyway. And these knives are what I would describe as sort of entry-level, good, everyday carry knives. I've always recommended the Delica, but I think I would also start recommending the Kershaw. It's just certainly making a good first impression on me. Brings us to locking mechanism. You've got a liner lock here, and you've got a lock back there. Lock back is a stronger locking mechanism than a liner lock. There's a fair bit of data out there that indicates that already. Not to say that line lock isn't a strong locking mechanism. You still have to push fairly hard downwards to try and bend or warp this thin piece of steel here, which wouldn't happen too easily. However, the lock back requires much more force, and it requires like a proper bit of, there's a little jigged bit of steel that's stuck into another crevice in a piece of steel, so it's a lot stronger, sort of a lot more of a high strength little locking mechanism there. Price, you'll probably pay $15 less for the Kershaw, and it does have the benefit of being a flipper, which is a lot more fun gadget factor wise. So yeah, I think I did a comparison a while back on the Rat 2. The Rat 2, I've sold that since. That knife did not make a good impression on me. I just felt that it was shrunk down as an afterthought of the Rat 1, which may well be a good contender in this little battle here. Getting towards being a fair bit larger than the Delica though, the Rat 1. Kershaw is sort of in between those two sizes, but the Rat 2 I just found just wasn't thought out well enough. The handle in particular was just uncomfortable, and there are just certain things about it just didn't ring true with me, and there was some fit and finish issues as well on my particular model. So I did, which I'm a perfectionist, for the average person, not too fussed, but it did have some centering problems, which I just couldn't iron out, no matter how much I tried taking it apart, tightening it, all that sort of stuff. I think the certain points of it were just a little bit crooked. Anyway, so that would probably be the third most suggested staple EDC knife, but it's not in this comparison because these two are just vastly superior. You pay a little bit more money, but there you have it. So in case you're curious, that is the Kershaw next to the Delica. Which would I choose? I really don't know now. Delica, I'm never going to say anything bad about. It's probably got the more comfortable handle still. That's just much more grip friendly. But again, this just locks you in really, really well. Has one choil, so it's got a bit of guidance as to where to put your hands, but it's not like the the Rat or the Cold Steel Voyager, which I've shown you as well, where you have to put your hand a certain way in it. So still quite neutral and still quite flexible. Just kind of tapers off to do whatever you want with this space here. So even in terms of comfort, you know what? I'd be almost leaning towards this Kershaw Skyline for now, unless something remarkable happens while I'm reviewing it. I'd say the steel is just as good. You get a little bit more blade. You're going to pay a little bit less. It's probably the uglier knife is the only thing I would knock against it. I don't think it's a particularly good looking knife. It's a very good feeling knife and a very good using knife, I'm sure, but probably the only thing, I think the Delica looks a bit better with its nice blue scales. If you can get the Kershaw and something a bit brighter maybe. I just like Spyderco's more alien design aesthetic, a bit more. This is very much just a generic looking Kershaw knife, I would describe it as. So my first impressions are at least equal, but I'm actually starting to lean towards the Skyline. So I guess we'll see how that pans out over the coming couple of weeks while I do this exclusive pocket carry on the Skyline. Cool. Well, 2 videos in one day, aren't you all lucky? Let's just weigh these up as well, so that if the weight's a decider for any of you out there. Grams. Righto. So my Skyline weighs in at 74 grams, and my Delica weighs in at 69 grams. So that's 5 grams. So let's just call it even on weight. So it really does come down to aesthetic, style, preferred opening mechanism, because as far as I'm concerned, the steels are pretty much the same. The grind, they're going to slice about as good as each other. yeah, the clips, 4 ways, really good clips. Very, very similar. Very similar and both very good starter knives. Probably the 2 I would now recommend rather than just being the Delica, I would say to everyone. Now that Skylines are available in Australia, I definitely encourage you to seek one out if you're after either a first good EDC knife, you want to get past that $50 mark. I started at the $50 mark, you want to get past that, jump in with a Skyline as well as a Delica. I reckon if you had both, you'd have a pretty happy little system going on. Alrighty, thanks for listening to me. I'll see you guys later.